DIY mom. Okay, we're doing the photo to wood transfer. Okay, so I'm going to show you, so it's really easy, but I'm going to show you some very important steps you do not want to miss. Get very basic wood. This happens to be 8 by 10. Also make sure your wood is pale because you want to make sure your photo shows up. Now, you're going to just print regular, well, it's not regular paper, but you're going to print from your printer, not on photo paper. You want to use a very thin, translucent paper, just like so. See how it's very translucent, Jake? Are you holding that steady for me? Good. Okay. See, it's like very kind of transparent. The one I am using is translucent, number 17 thin. Jake, did you get that label? Thank you.
Pause the video. If you want to see that video.
Okay, so then the other important thing. Does anybody see a difference in these two pictures? Anyone? 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 Flyer?
No.
Flyer? No?
Show in the comments if you know.
Okay.
Show in the comments.
So
It's backwards.
it's backwards. Very good, Jackson.
You
Okay.
don't need to shout it in the
All right.
background.
Hold this thing now. The reason it's backwards, when I have on my phone, I did like from the HB print app, and you just hit. First, you're gonna hit the rotate button, and then you're gonna hit reverse vertically, because this is how I want it to come out, so that then this way, when you lay it down flat, it will be the same way as this. So that's why it's important, because it's reversed when you're steering, and then you're gonna lay it down flat. So, okay, so you're gonna do that. Then you're gonna carefully cut along the edges, so it's going to be the size that you want it to be. And then what we're gonna do is, and we'll come back and show you that, but we're gonna put it on here, and then we're gonna, with a paintbrush, cover it in a thin layer of the acrylic medium matte gel. Make sure it's medium, that's very important.
We don't want it to be no strong or too light.
Right, and then, so we're gonna cover it completely with the medium, and then I'm gonna show you how I flatten it out with just like the edge of a gift card or something, and then we have to. Okay, so I lightly brushed the picture with the matte gel that I was telling you about, the medium, acrylic medium matte gel. So I just brushed it, a very thin coat. You don't want to put too much. And then you very carefully turn the picture over and center it where you want to be on your wood. And then after you do that, and then it's all centered, very carefully, this is like an old card my kids got at the video game place. You're just gonna get the bubbles out, kind of like you would do if you were putting cover on your cell phone. So you're gonna, make sure you get all the bubbles out, and don't press too hard because you don't want to rip it. This paper is very fine. And then as you're pushing, you'll see some of the gel coming out, and then you just simply wipe that off with a paper towel. And now we're gonna just let this sit for 8 hours. So I'm just gonna let it sit overnight because it's already like almost, I don't know, maybe almost 7 o'clock here. So I'm gonna let this sit and then come back to it tomorrow, and that's when we'll bring in the Mod Podge. Okay, bye. Okay, so to continue on with the photo transfer, I did run into a problem, so I just want to show you what not to do, because this is how mine turned out. Okay, so also because then I got frustrated and tried to scrape it off. So I realized I don't think I had enough of the matte gel on it, and then what I didn't do was smooth out all the edges very good, and you'll see the material, the gel coming out of the edges, and just wipe it off. Make sure you don't have any bubbles in here. That was my problem, because then the photo can't transfer. And also be careful when you're rubbing it, because it is to the thin translucent paper, it could rip. Okay, so I think it's set now, so I'm gonna let it sit for 8 hours. Okay. Okay, so mine sat overnight, and now what I did is I took this wet towel, make it very wet, not totally sopping, squeeze out a little bit, but pretty wet, and I laid it on there for a few minutes, and then I really soaked it down in there. And now I'm just gonna roll off with my finger the edges very carefully, because I don't want to kind of do what I did last time. It kind of works a little bit better when it's wet and then you let it dry for a few minutes, but then as some parts are still dry, you want to re-wet them because you don't want to be tearing up the paper. So just make like little circles like this, and then you can just roll back that way. Okay. Alright, so this is a DDIY, don't do it yourself. I didn't use enough gel, and I didn't use enough water when I was rubbing it off, and I rubbed too hard. So don't do that. Don't follow these directions, and I'll post another. Oh, I forgot to say too, you can follow the directions up to my, like, rubbing it off, and then when yours comes out all pretty, just with a brush, put on the Mod Podge that I showed you earlier, and it will just set it, let it dry, and you're done. So good luck. Well, one good thing about these is that now I'm just gonna stain these pieces of wood, like a weathered gray kind of, and put them outside, and I think that it will kind of add some like pop art out there. Okay, I'll come back with a new one.